Is it going to happen that one day we read a news article about you being eaten by one of these bears?
No, and it,
Welcome back to the channel, people. This video today is about Timothy Treadwell and his girlfriend Amie Huguenard that was viciously mangled by a grizzly bear. And like, my question is why? Why was he in Katmai National Park in Alaska living 13 summers amongst grizzly bears? How did he get his love and passion for it? But then I dig deeper and found out he was a heroin addict. They are saying, not at the time of that happening to him, but he had stopped it and, developed this love for bears instead. But I say that has a lot to do with why he thought he could be a friend of a grizzly bear, and not just one, like a lot of them, and live amongst their land. And it was very interesting about that story. So we're gonna dig deeper, and this is gonna be a documentary almost about what actually happened to him, how it happened. Man, it's audio to when it happened, and man, this is crazy. But this is a learning lesson. He wasn't a wild animal biologist or a zookeeper or nothing. So the fact that that happened to him was crazy. He really spoke everything in his own existence by saying he would say that he's gonna get killed by a bear. He would say that sometimes.
All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into a really tragic and honestly a very complicated story. The 2003 deaths of Timothy Treadwell and Amie Huguenard.
Yeah, and our goal here is to get past some of the sensationalism of the film Grizzly Man. We want to look at the facts, the psychology, and the cold, hard ecological reality of it all.
And you really have to start with the man himself. Timothy Treadwell wasn't even his real name.
No, he was born Timothy Dexter. He tried to be an actor, and he famously lost a role on Cheers to Woody Harrelson. That failure seems to have triggered something really deep.
The crisis.
A total crisis. And this grizzly man persona, this idea of living with bears, it became his coping mechanism, his purpose.
Right.
But it was a purpose that was, on a collision course with reality.
So how quickly did the experts, the park officials, see the danger in what he was doing?
Oh, immediately. I mean, right away. Conservationists and ecologists were constantly warning him. They said he was, and this is a quote, breaking every park rule that there was.
Things like distance from the animals, right? Harassment.
Exactly. He was getting way too close, habituating them to humans, which is the one thing you are never supposed to do.
There's that one really chilling warning a park official gave him. They told him that if his actions ever forced them to kill a bear, the staff would never forgive him.
A tragic bit of foreshadowing. And we have to talk about Amie Huguenard, the physician's assistant who was with him.
Yeah, she often gets lost in the story.
She does, and reports suggest she was becoming really frightened. She wanted to leave that camp. She knew how dangerous it was getting.
Which brings us to the timing. They stayed way too late in the season.
Way too late. They were killed on October 5th. And this is crucial because that's when coastal brown bears enter a state called hyperphagia.
So hyperphagia.
Yeah.
What exactly is that? Are they hungry?
It's more than that. It's a biological barrier. Pre-hibernation phase where they have to eat a massive amount of calories, like up to 20,000 a day.
And the food sources are starting to disappear.
Exactly. The salmon are gone, berries are scarce, so the bears are stressed, they're desperate, and they become far more dangerous and unpredictable. They start looking at things they wouldn't normally consider food.
And on top of that, his campsite location was just a terrible choice.
It was called the Grizzly Maze. I mean, the name says it all. It was this area of especially thick brush, crisscrossed by bear trails, almost zero visibility.
The perfect place for a surprise attack.
A perfect ambush spot, which is what happened. The only record is from his video camera, which was running with the lens cap on.
So no video, just audio. 6 minutes of it.
Yeah, and investigators like Trooper Chris Hill, they pieced together a forensic timeline from those sounds,
Yeah.
and it's horrifying, but it's also very telling.
The sequence is what matters, right? It starts with Amie yelling for him to play dead.
Right, and that's standard advice for a defensive attack. If you surprise a bear, playing dead can show you're not a threat.
But then it changes, almost instantly.
It shifts immediately. The next thing you hear is her screaming at him to fight back. And that's the key. That rapid reversal means they both realized this wasn't a defensive attack.
This was predatory.
This is a predatory attack. The bear wasn't scared, it was hunting them.
And then there's the ethical side of that recording. Werner Herzog, the director of Grizzly Man.
Yes, a critical moment in the film. He listens to the audio, but we don't. And he advises Treadwell's former partner, Joel Palovac, to destroy it, to never listen.
Which kept the focus on the tragedy and the analysis, not just the raw horror of it.
Exactly. It was a very responsible decision. In the end, the Park Service's conclusion was that Treadwell's death, while tragic, was not unpredictable.
And the final irony, and it's so bleak, is that this man who claimed to be protecting bears, his actions directly led to 2 of them being killed by the Park Service.
The 28-year-old male that killed them and another younger bear that was scavenging, it just proves that you can't impose human sentimentality on the wild. Nature is indifferent.
It's a story about a man trying to apply human emotions to a world that runs on a completely different set of rules, the laws of survival.
And maybe that's the thing to leave everyone with. This tragedy really reveals something about our own desire. You know, to try and bridge that gap between our feelings and the unforgiving reality of nature. Why do we keep trying when the wild itself seems to be telling us to keep our distance?
Amie, we know, fought back for approximately 6 minutes. Amie stayed with her lover, with her partner, with her mate, and with the bear.
All I'm gonna say is it was unfortunate, but at the same time, let's keep it real. You know, America don't like keeping it real. People don't like to be honest. He shouldn't have never been on that land with those grizzly bears at all. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Then he don't even have the credentials. So I looked it up. He didn't have no credentials. He was a regular person. They putting this enthusiast and all this crap, man. No. You caused your death and you took someone with you, your girlfriend. She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to be around him. And you did that to him, Timothy. Rest in peace to you. Condolences to your family. But this is a learning lesson for everyone. Learning lessons.
In the case of Timothy and Amie, what I had were body parts. Just the visual input of seeing a detached human being before my eyes makes my heart race, makes the hair stand up on the back of my head, particularly in combination with the contents of a tape, an audio tape, that is the sound portion of a videotape. And when I find out from other investigators that the shoes neatly placed at the entrance to a tent and the cap left on a camera so that the visual part could not be recorded, yet the tape is running so that we can hear the sounds of Amie screaming and the sounds of Timothy moaning, tells me that this event occurred very, very quickly, suddenly and unexpectedly.
going to happen that one day we read a news article about you being eaten by one of these bears?